Hello Capricorn, welcome to your monthly forecast. This is for the month of October. I'd like to begin by welcoming back all of my return viewers. You are definitely an inspiration for me, not only because of the support that you've given me, but the continual work that you've done on yourselves. You help make this world a brighter place, and I'm glad you're in it. I'd like to express equal gratitude to anybody that's brand new. I really welcome you here, and I want to give you a little bit of information about who I am and how I run these readings from month to month. First of all, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and the way that I organize each and every session is as follows. I like to start off with channeled information. This is when I connect directly with my guides and my intuition, and I communicate whatever I hear, feel, and see with you. After that, I go into a full Celtic cross where I use the tarot cards, and I allow whatever needs to come through at that point to come through. That portion ends up being very organic. A lot of times I will see the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens, and I can't necessarily control what's going to come through. So at the very end, I extend the forecast to look at specific areas that I know you care about, and that includes health, wealth, love, and destiny. Everything that you're going to see today can be used for your sun sign, your rising sign, and also for your moon. And of course, you can watch on behalf of someone that you care about in your life. If you don't happen to know those different aspects of your chart, just stick with the sign that you were born under, and that's going to give you more than ample guidance for the month ahead. So as you can see, there's a lot that you can take away from this video and the other 11 ones that I've posted. And if you enjoy this kind of content, there's a lot of ways that you can help support it. I'm going to go into that at the end of the video. I'll briefly list it here. It includes everything from liking, subscribing, sharing, to also, if you're interested, booking an appointment or perhaps becoming a patron. These are really important aspects to the production, but I know you want to get into the forecast, so I'm going to focus on that right now, talking about the channeled information, but please stick around until the end if you do like everything, and you can find out how you can make a difference. All right, as I selected a deck of cards and I began to meditate on your sign, I had a couple of images that came through to me. The first thing was I felt as if you've ever seen one of those puppets like a marionette, I felt as if those were attached to my heart, these heartstrings basically, and I could feel someone kind of tugging and pulling at them. So what I did was I closed my eyes and I just focused on the heart space, and I imagined that the strings, that energy, the connection was just melting. And the word that I received was forgiveness, and when I allowed myself to surrender to the word forgiveness, I felt this warm sensation go throughout my entire body, and it was almost a sort of this euphoric sense of being free or free falling. So I captured this in automatic writing and wrote down the following. I said, forgiveness is freedom. And although it's short, it's a really powerful statement, and it's also easier said than done, right? How many times have we all had someone in our life who, for whatever reason, we just get angry with them and we hold on to a grudge? It doesn't necessarily solve anything, right? And what I've tried to do in my own life is through time, I understand that sometimes the universe introduces these characters in our life to teach us. And what is going on right now is that you're kind of at a place where you can consider yourself graduating from some of these lessons. And if you can release the painful memory that's kind of stuck in your heart space, you're going to open up and you can enrich and heal current relationships. So if you're with a partner right now, it's going to make that healthier. It's kind of like you've cleared the air. And all of a sudden you may find that communication with someone else in your life, a best friend, a lover, a parent, some sort of closer or intimate relationship is going to benefit the moment that you go into that space and let that other energy out. Here's the way that makes it a little bit easier, I think, for some of us to begin the act of forgiveness. If you can just think to yourself, I'd rather not think about this person anymore, but the fact that I'm holding on to a feeling of resentment, anger, hatred, annoyance, whatever it is, it means that they're kind of in my energy somewhere. They're in my head space, they're in my heart space, they're in my gut if it's sort of like a power struggle. And if I can just think to myself, you know what, even if you can think of it this way, they can't help themselves, or maybe, you know, this is the only way they can get attention or whatever, and you can start to understand that they were maybe seeking love or affection or healing themselves. Then you get them out of your headspace, you get them out of your heart, you get them out of every part of your auric field, and suddenly you're free. You're free of that energy. And it's kind of like if you're cleaning the house and it smells better. It's the same thing with your auric field. You clean it out, it feels better, the frequency is higher, and you're going to pull in energy that's of that same high frequency. So do it less for them and more for your sanity, and you're going to be healing them in the same process though, and that's what's beautiful about this. So try to find a way to forgiveness. Definitely work on your heart space, and if you don't know who's causing some of this blockage, you could just do a general prayer to say, if I'm, dear God and universe, please bless my heart, open this space up, and allow for a healing to take place. If I'm holding on to any sort of debt, anger, fear, frustration in this space, allow it to melt now. Allow it to disappear. Give me the strength to forgive those, even if I don't know how to. Allow that to start to happen. Allow that healing to begin now. Something like that. As I said that, I actually felt my crown opening. So I know I even had a healing that I needed to do. And hopefully if you say something akin to that, it's going to help you as well. Just remember, the more you can forgive, the freer you will feel, the more you're going to heal yourself, the more you're going to help other people. All right. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards. At this point, I'm going to remain quiet while I lay out every single card on the table, but afterwards I'm going to pull them up and talk about how it's going to relate to you and the month ahead. So as we begin here with your Catalyst card, it's reversed, but I'd like to turn it upright so we can read it. It says, surrendering to the journey, release control. I think some of what we were doing there in the meditation at the beginning here, even though I'm normally just tuning into energy, I felt the need to kind of do a guided meditation. That's part of this, letting go of trying to control things, letting go of old pain, allowing yourself to simply be more in the moment. Because one of the other things that I was just picking up on was that sense of freedom or free falling. And if you believe that the universe has your back, is supporting you, is guiding you on the journey, then you're never alone. You're never sort of feeling like you're kind of painted into a corner. This month, I want you to allow the energy to pull you into the right direction. And this card actually reminds me a lot of the Six of Swords. It's a card of taking journeys, of trying new things. And I think that's part of this message over the course of October. And it's been a consistent message for those of you that might watch your sun, rising, and moon. There's been messages this month about release, about exploration, about taking a break, and that card definitely files into the overall energy of the month. Let's go ahead now and look specifically at you at the center here. We have the Five of Wands first and foremost, and because this is at the heart of your spread, one thing that I can say is that the month is going to kick off probably with a lot of busy work, or you may be feeling a little bit distracted, kind of like you're in the middle of a big project, or that you're kind of getting lost in the shuffle. So if that's the case, it would be a really great time, if you could, just to take one day off, or maybe bookend the weekend and do a 4-day weekend. I feel like the best thing that you could do is try to gain some sort of perspective in your life and give yourself a break. One thing that I like to reiterate about the Five of Wands is it's a very subtle card, which sometimes means that you don't realize that you're making progress, but you are. So take a moment, if you can't, cash in some holiday time or take a break, to simply gain perspective and think, this is why I'm doing it. Maybe look at your child's picture, or look at your vacation destination, or the house that you're trying to buy. Try to put it into some sort of a tangible motivation for why you're working so hard, what you're doing from day to day, and realize, okay, I'm actually doing this for this reason, and it inspires me to keep doing it. And not only that, but I'm going to take a look over my shoulder and remember how hard I've worked to get here. Because it's not uncommon for like sometimes 3, 5, 10 years to go by if you're working really hard on a career path, and suddenly you wake up one day and you think, how did I end up here, and how did so much time pass? So give yourself a little bit of perspective this month. It's going to be really important to just maintaining your focus and your happiness, your sanity. We have a strength card right over top of this, which is a modifier. And whenever I look at the modifying card or the crossing card, it's neither positive nor negative, but it is something that you can use to accentuate the best possible outcome here. So first of all, I see that you have the power to make great things happen. This is a very maternal card. It oftentimes comes through for a boss, a mother, a father, or an owner of a company. What it shows me, though, is that there's a chance for you this month to step back a little bit and allow other people to pick up the slack. If you look at this card, the person sometimes isn't allowing other people to step up and do the work that they should be doing. So if you're a parent, show your children kind of like a good work ethic, but then give them a chance to succeed or fail on their own merits. The same thing it holds true if you're a boss, or if you're a coworker, or if you're just living your life and you're wondering, will other people catch up, or are they going to do stuff? Kind of focus on what you need to do and let these people find their own way. With the strength card, sometimes you use too much of your own energy to fix other people. So redirect some of that wonderful energy into your life and become strong. This could be about going back to the gym, working out. It could also be about really getting ahead in your career, or getting a lot closer to that goal, whatever it is that's inspiring you to do the work that you're doing. Put more of the energy into you. That investment will absolutely give you a return. Wait for other people to come to you and ask for help or guidance. That's going to be not only a key to success, but you're going to be happier, and the other people are going to be happier as well. Looking at the deep past, I kind of understand why that strength card is there. I feel like you've worked hard to prove why you should be sort of like noticed, and I feel like some of you may have either come from a very competitive background or a larger family, or somehow you equated money and status with success. So it's almost like you're really trying to overcompensate or prove how good you are. And I see how hard you work. We have, again, 5 of Wands, strength card, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. You are not lazy. You're doing more than your share. So take a break this month. Focus on what's important to you. And one thing that I think is important to really allow for is a little bit of daydreaming. Because when I'm looking at recent past, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse, which can sort of be like horse blinders on. Narrow focus, sort of, nose to the grindstone, really trying to get one thing done and putting all of your energy into that. Open up your perspective a little bit. Look at some other things. Have some fun. Just consider spending your time, spending your energy, spending your even your affection if it's on one person. Kind of spread all of this energy around in different places, because I feel like there's been 1 or 2 recipients, and it's time to put some of that in you, and also to kind of look at what else is out there in the world. Some of you are ready to move on. The 10 of Wands is a card of deciding, maybe not now, but probably towards the end of the year or the very beginning quarter of next year, should I move? Should I quit? Should I travel? You need to do something to kind of mix up your energy and explore. The 10 of Wands doesn't have to be a permanent sort of moving on, but at the very least, it does show trying something new. And maybe if you're going to stay in the same company, it can be sort of exploring transfer opportunities as well. So I see some really exciting things on the horizon for you. I think what you could do this month is a little bit of soul searching and decide, all right, I've done this much, I've achieved a certain level of success, but I'm still wanting, I'm still desiring. The reason that I also kind of tune into your heart space is it feels like something is either lacking or longing in that space. So go back to what it was you wanted to do as a little girl or a little boy and think, have I kept true to that vision, that dream? Is there something I could do now to help cultivate that? As we look at the near future, we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. So we've got a lot of 10s here. I want to review them. What I look at in the deep past is achievement and also obligation, the 10 of Pentacles. What I look at in the crowning position is really carrying more than your load, and also being ready for a change or a shift. And now some of the longing comes in the shape of relationships. So if you're in a current relationship, this is telling me that you're putting in a little bit more effort perhaps than your partner is. And this is a chance to communicate some of your wishes, some of your desires, and make sure that they're being met. If you are single and looking, there is a chance for energy to go into dating and romance this month, because when I look at the ego card, we have the Knight of Cups. That portends very good things based on the arrangement of cards that I'm looking at. So maybe this is time to put a little bit more energy into your social networking and also just having fun. Not just networking is more business. I think this really has to do with friends, dating, community, things that just kind of feed your soul. When I look at the environment card, this is great actually. This is a card of success. The Six of Wands shows that people are receiving your energy, your ideas, anything that you're trying to sort of put out into the public eye with the best possible energy. The only thing that I would say when I see this, especially if it's in the ego or in the environment, is that there can be maybe too much attention or concern around approval. And again, I'm really impressed with the energy here. All these 10 cards show me that many of you are at a phase in your life where you might have checked off a lot of items on your bucket list. It doesn't matter what age you are. Maybe you just got lucky. Maybe you worked really hard. Whatever's going on, now is a time for you to start living for you and to figure out like what phase 2 or 3 of your life is going to look like. Depends at what phase you are already at. But it's sort of like, what is the bigger purpose? This is something that I've been posing to a lot of signs this month. So go back to that dream, see what you can do, have a little bit more fun, and live more for what your heart is telling you to do. Because there's been a lot of the past focus on the mind or the family or societal pressures. This time you get to kind of break through and try something for you. I'm saying this because when I look at hopes, fears, and opportunities, I have a card that can sometimes show regret or second-guessing yourself. The Five of Cups can be a sort of indicator that you're at a point in your life where you wonder if something is ever going to happen, or you might be looking at something that you sacrificed and think, what if I had tried this, or what if I had dated this person, or, why did I make these choices? The good news is it's never too late to do a course correction. And as I said at the beginning, I think one of the most powerful things you can do is not punish yourself. Forgive yourself for whatever decisions you made, and in fact, be grateful for them because they made you the person that you are today. The outcome card for this month is really what's giving you direction here. It's saying dream a dream and set it into action. The Two of Wands is the first step in manifestation. You have to figure out what you want before you can figure out how to make it happen. And that's really the most important thing you can do this month, is to think, what next? And while you're kind of working on whatever it is that you're trying to finish, think, all right, why am I still doing this? And somehow these two things have to come into balance, right? So that'll help you figure out how much longer you should do what you're doing. And also where relationships, passion, and joy fits into this equation. Because in the near future, I'm seeing that. And in the ego, I'm seeing that. You already have the love and support of many people, even if you don't recognize it, okay? Let's expand your forecast and we'll get some more insight into all of the stuff that we just talked about. I want to start first with your health card. Health is mind, body, and spirit, and with this month's particular reading, it's been more of an emotional card than a physical card. That definitely holds true for this card. It's about abundance. I'm going to pull it in the upright position so you can see it. And if you notice here, you can see how stressed out all of these individuals are. And it feels like they're almost trapped behind this fear of not having enough. So this could be not enough food, not enough love, not enough money. It's in the health area, so the fear of sort of scarcity or being in that place of not having enough is almost creating a self-perpetuating truth. And what I saw here was that there shouldn't be a need for that, because your only money card is actually one of abundance. And I see movement, growth, and opportunity surrounding you. So one thing you want to work on this month is having a really firm understanding of your self-worth and making sure that people see that as well. If it doesn't exist where you're at, first of all, you've got to shift the focus internally and start to love yourself and see your worth, but then seek out an environment, whether it's workspace, a love situation, living situation, whatever, where your partners and peers also meet you with that same appreciation. The scarcity here is not a reality, or it's not a permanent state. And that can be another piece of it. We all go through periods where we grow and then we contract. With money, with experiences, with people, it's constantly kind of like the solar system, right? Things will form, then they kind of contract, then they come back again, the big bang, and then the big contraction, all of that. So a similar sort of thing here. And if you can see it as a cycle and a moment within a larger cycle, then you are not trapped, you are not victim to it, and you will not get as stressed out by it. Start to innovate yourself out of whatever challenge you have. That's what the Two of Wands is about. And it's not about worrying about an intangible or an uncontrollable thing. Money, opportunity, and abundance will flow in when you no longer stress about it to the degree that you are right now. As I look at some of the other cards here, I think that it's really important for you to take care of your back. When I see the Ten of Wands, it's not as bad as Ten of Swords, but it can show the likelihood that you might pull a muscle in your back by carrying your weight incorrectly if you're in a sort of a job where you might be lifting heavy things, or you have a purse or a bag and it's a little bit too heavy on one shoulder, you could throw out a muscle or some sort of a disc in your back, so be careful with that. And the only other thing that I'm seeing here is it's really more of an emotional thing here with the Five of Cups. So I feel like that stress or that fear could be eating away at your general health, and you don't want that to happen. Let's look at your wealth card. With wealth, there's an encouragement, and it's actually a solution to what we saw here in health, to ground yourself a little bit. It says Gaia, Earth connection, be mindful of the planet, go back to Earth, stay grounded. So on a face level, like just looking at the card itself, some of you might actually be taking a job where there's more of a focus on sustainability and planetary healing and health like that. And I think that's perfect. We need more jobs and more attention there because the planet is in dire need. For the rest of you, this is saying that the way that you can become more successful, since that's in wealth, and the way that you can help your health, since it's attached to health, is to get out in nature. And whether that's simply gardening or walking your dog or, jogging or hiking or somehow getting out in the elements, choose something that resonates with you and make a day of it. Really feel that you are disconnected from technology and connected to the magic of this wonderful blue-green world that we're in. And you're going to find this sense of peace and focus and perspective. There's a lot of similarity between the Two of Wands, which is finding purpose. He's holding the globe in his hands. And this Gaia card, which is allowing you to connect with something bigger. So go somewhere where you're not distracted by too much work, by all the stressful emails and phone calls that you have, by family members asking for 100 different things, by the worries of, am I going to make this bill or this rent on time? You need to just take a day and relax a little bit. That's going to help you a lot. And the other thing for you is I want you to look at perhaps trying to find a job or an opportunity that is in a different state, a different country, or has a global perspective to it. Some of you are ready to do something bigger than where you're working. And that's the other space or piece that I have with the Earth connection on this. Let's go ahead now and move along to relationships. This one is really interesting, and I think it's a connection to what I was channeling earlier, the forgiveness is freedom message. We have sort of an imprint card here that I see. If you look at this, it's like someone's energy is imprinted on top of this person. There could be someone in your life that you are so connected with that you can almost tell when they're hurting or when they're laughing or when they're crying. And this card is saying that give yourself a chance to sort of clear your energetic space. This isn't just about forgiveness. This could also be about looking at, are you surrounded by this person's stuff? Maybe it's an ex and you're still connected to, you've got some of their clothing, some of their cups in the kitchen, whatever, all this kind of like baggage around you. Clear some of that out and allow for breathing space to happen. The other thing is, this gets back to this maternal energy that's coming through. You don't have to solve everything for everyone. Push back a little bit and let that person start to find a way to heal themselves, to own their power, to become, especially if it's a child or a mentee, someone that's under your guidance, allow them to become the full realized adult that you know that they can be, and that's going to be really important. All right. By the way, I mentioned earlier, love is possible. There's a lot of pressure for some of you to either be in a relationship or find a certain type of person. Just make sure that you're happy for you. I'm going to put that out there as well. All right, let's look at your destiny card. Destiny is not simply kind of like carved in stone. This is a very malleable card, and it's based on your wants, your desires, and your own internal GPS. This card is all about wisdom. The text is long, verbose, and somewhat confusing. So I'm going to summarize the most salient point here, which is that you are already a part of everything in the universe. And you don't really need to align yourself with a particular person or a particular thing to prove that you aren't alone. There's a little bit of sort of contradictory information both in this card and also when you just sort of philosophically think about the universe. We're simultaneously connected to everything, and sometimes we have this illusion that we're alone. And this card is saying it's one and both, because everything on this planet is sort of God and the universe trying to make sense of what's going on. So my dog is, I am, the plants around me are, the building in which I live, it's all God energy, it's all connected. And if you were to kind of look at things on a molecular level, nothing is truly solid. It's all moving. We're all moving in and out of space, in and out of dimension. So everything's connected. Nothing is exactly as it seems, which also means that things like feeling alone, it's a little bit of a construct. The truth is, I can go outside and hug a tree or plant a flower or swim in the ocean, and I'm so connected to the kind of cosmic being or the cosmic energy of this planet. I'm not alone. I may be doing that just by myself, but the fact that I'm connected with the water, which is connected with the fish, and I'm connected with the air, which is connected with the trees, and you're breathing the same air that I'm breathing, we're all connected. So you're not alone. Ultimately, this card is saying that there is a much bigger sort of cosmic energy at play here. What's important for you is to find that you could be happy with or without. I think that's how I would have summed up that whole card. There's a lot of words, and I had to say a lot of words to even get to that point, which is you're not alone, and whether you're with or without money, with or without a person, living in a big house or a small house, it doesn't define you as a better or worse person. We're all equal in the eyes of God. We're all living a similar sort of path. We're all students of the universe. We're all connected. So this gives you a little bit of, this is the freedom here, which is there really is no comparison. I've been using the Matrix as a sort of flashback reference this month. And if you think about this, it's kind of like hacking into the code of the Matrix. We are all able to be connected to a larger truth, and everything around us is kind of an illusion. So try to relax a little bit, be happy for what you have, celebrate the little things, and try to find things that bring you joy. But there's a lot of energy this month around connecting to the world and doing something bigger than what you're doing now. So I feel like many of you have maybe just tired of, or you've been worn out on the 20th century version of success. So that's sort of like having to go through a certain amount of school, having to have a certain amount of money, working at certain types of companies, hanging out with certain people, wearing certain types of clothing. It's all an illusion. Do what your soul needs you to do to be happy, to be satisfied, to be connected to your truth. Okay? Let's go ahead and turn the camera down, and I'm going to review everything that we talked about. In the channeled message, I went through how forgiving yourself, forgiving others actually creates freedom, light, and a sort of higher frequency around you. Very powerful. There's a meditation. Feel free to go back and listen to that if you'd like. This was an extension of that, which was to release. It says, surrendering to the journey, release control. Realize that the universe is going to guide you along if you trust yourself and if you trust the signs. Many of you are working really hard and you're going to do a great job at whatever you're doing, but there's a lot of movement that wants to happen around you. Is the money enough? Is the pressure worth it? Are you seeking out more companionship? What do you want? This is really all about finding your purpose, finding your happy and your zen, not kind of going under the mold of what is expected of you, which is something that we saw here with the Six of Wands. Open your mind, travel, try new things. If you're doing things for people, just make sure that you're also getting reciprocity. The Ten of Cups in reverse is oftentimes a one-sided card, and I see so much healing and maternal energy that you're putting out into the universe. Just make sure you're receiving it as well. Love wants to come in. This is a great month for you to decide to invest in relationships. Also, if you're trying to sell anything or pitch an idea or just be successful, you've got it right here in the environment. Just don't focus solely on that. That was my warning. The Five of Cups reminds you that you can control some things and other things are an illusion, which we really talked at great length about in the Destiny card. So pick and choose what you can affect and let the other stuff go. Two of Wands is about choosing the next big thing in your life. You should always be planning your next great adventure, whether it's a trip, a new job, a project, some sort of exploration. Now is the time to dream. You deserve it. Abundance is here for you. See it, feel it, believe it. If you live in a place of feeling like you lack that or you're not deserving of it, then it won't come to you. Ground yourself. Connect to a higher purpose, a higher sort of more connected energy, whether it's a job or just a way of thinking and being, and that's going to open up abundance. Some of you may decide to move, travel, or join a global company as well. Don't let other people imprint on top of you unnecessarily. This card is showing that some people are trying to kind of like put their energy onto you, something that I've seen in more than one sign this month. So clear your space, take on only what you decide to take on, and give yourself freedom to push back and do what you want to do. Because I see a lot of energy of trying to please, trying to perform, trying to take on extra load because someone else won't do it. This is your time to say, enough now. And finally, don't judge yourself so harshly, no matter what's going on. Money, alliances, marriage, all of these things are fine if it's what you want, but know that at the end of the day, they're mostly labels. And a lot of this stuff is an illusion. So what God in the universe is kind of conveying through this spread today is that this is your time to dream. This is your time to reconnect to that higher purpose and realize, like, what do I want to do on this planet again? Something that I've been talking about. And once you do that, guess what? The money comes in, the abundance comes in, the love comes in. So get back on that path, and I feel like there's a lot of success at your fingertips. So I just gave you your closing word. I'm doing this in reverse, but each and every sign I kind of mix it up anyway. So I'd like to now tell you how you can give back if you really enjoyed this. First of all, if you ever feel like you want to talk at greater length about something that I touched upon, you can click on the first card or the first link below the video, and that will let you know how you can reach out to me, and you can check out the rates and availability there as well. If it makes sense, then I look forward to hearing from you. Otherwise, you can also just say thank you and support the production of videos like this by clicking on the second card or second link. In that particular part of my site, you'll be walked through all the different methods like Patreon, PayPal, or even clicking here at the join button and how that works. Basically, you can do a one-time contribution or a continuing one, and this allows me to continue to buy really cool cards and, more importantly, set aside the calendar time that's necessary for the production here. I've also added some lighting and some other elements to my sort of production assembly here, and I can't do that without your support. So I just want to say thank you if you've done it in the past, and if you're thinking of doing it today, it makes a big difference, so I appreciate you. Finally, a very easy way to show support, just involves a few clicks, is to click on that third card or third link and join me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and if you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do that here, and then share what you see here with your friends on your social media feeds. This helps me achieve my cosmic goal on this planet, which is to share my stories and my experiences with spirituality and have intelligent conversations about that. And also to kind of provide a light in the darkness, because there's a lot of uncertainty and discomfort in the world right now. If I can help you and then you can help someone else, then we're not alone. And that's the whole purpose, right? That's why we're showing up today. And that's that. I want to highlight that from this card. You're not alone, okay? I'm here. There's a lot of other people around here that care. We're all on this same path, and I think if we continue to foster this community of light workers on the planet, it's going to be a beautiful place, and it's going to be worth this journey. I know a lot of you have asked to see Apollo, so I'm going to pull him up here just for a second, and as I say thank you, I would just like to let you know that I appreciate the time that you spent with me today. It's a valuable resource, and the fact that you've decided to allow me to be a part of your spiritual journey means a lot. So from Apollo and I wish you the best now and always. Take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and share some love and light with someone in your life. Take care.